A 9-year-old girl sit in a pool of her parents' blood and swallow something no one is supposed to find. Footsteps pound down the hallway behind her. She has 11 seconds to disappear or die exactly where she is. Cataleya is just a little girl, and her world is small and warm. But her father, Fabio, carries a secret. He works for a drug cartel and he wants out. Nobody walks away from Don Luis. Not without a price. Fabio knows danger is closing in. So he does something quiet and desperate. He hands his daughter a microchip and makes her memorize one address. The American Embassy. Cataleya doesn't understand yet. She only knows her father's eyes are afraid for the first time in her life. But what she does not know is that this ordinary day is about to become the last day of her childhood. Gunfire rips through the house. Marco, the cartel's coldest enforcer, kicks down the door. Fabio fights back. Alicia screams. In seconds, both of Cataleya's parents are dead on the floor of their own home. The little girl does not cry. She swallows the microchip whole and she runs. Marco's men chase her through alleyways, over rooftops, through crowds who have no idea a 9-year-old is running for her life. Rooftop to rooftop, alley to alley. She does not stop because stopping means dying. She is faster than them. She knows this city better than any of them ever will. Cataleya reaches the embassy gates and gives a business card to the guard outside. The guard takes her inside. And just when things could not get worse, agents realize she is carrying something valuable in her stomach. Literally. She pulls out the chip from her vomit, and inside it is a list of every illegal operation Don Luis has ever run. This 9-year-old girl, without even trying, has just handed the United States a weapon against the most dangerous man in Colombia. She is flown to America. After landing, she run away from her guardian and take a bus to Chicago, where she meet her uncle, Emilio. A man she has never met, in a city she does not know, in a language she does not speak. For the first time since the shooting, Cataleya finally breaks down and cries in his arms. But what nobody in that room realizes is that those tears are not just grief. They are a promise. The following day, while they're in the dining eating, Cataleya looks up at her uncle and asks for something no child should ever ask for. She wants him to train her. She wants to become a killer good enough to take down Don Luis herself. Emilio refuses at first. Cataleya does not budge. And so begins a transformation that takes over a decade to complete. Cataleya is grown now. Sharp, beautiful, and lethal in ways nobody around her could ever guess. Emilio keeps his promise. He builds her into the smartest, most disciplined assassin money could never buy. By day, she paints under a fake name. By night, she is untraceable. Her calling card, a small flower carved into every target's chest. The Cataleya flower, native to Colombia. The one thing about her that is completely, unmistakably real. But what nobody in this city has any idea about is that the quiet art student down the hall has already killed more people than most professional hitmen ever will. She kills a target inside a maximum security prison, while locked in her own cell in the women's wing, at the exact same time. Nobody can explain how she did it. Nobody even knows to look for a woman. That is when FBI Special Agent Ross begins connecting the murders. 22 bodies over 4 years, all marked the same way. He calls the killer the tag killer. Some of his own agents already suspect a woman is behind it. Ross refuses to believe it. Surely nothing this precise, this brutal, could come from someone so easily overlooked. But what Ross does not know yet is that the man behind all of it is protected by the very government hunting her. The man the killer is really after is sitting comfortably in a CIA safe house in New Orleans. Don Luis, the reason her parents are dead, is brought into the United States by the CIA in exchange for information. He is untouchable, protected, living in luxury while the girl he destroyed closes in one body at a time. Cataleya has a quasi-boyfriend too, a painter named Danny, who only knows her as Jennifer. He has no idea who she really is. He has no idea what she does when she isn't in his apartment. She keeps him close, but never close enough to see the danger circling both of their lives. That is when Emilio hands her a new file, and this next job is about to push them both past the point of no return. A hedge fund manager, hiding in a Mexican mansion, surrounded by sharks in his private aquarium, becomes her next target. She swims in through the shark tank itself. By the time the man wakes up, every one of his guards is already dead. She shoots him. He begs. She finishes the job and pushes him into his own pool, where his sharks do the rest. It should feel like a win. It should feel like justice. But Emilio does not see it that way. He's furious. 8 people are gunned down in a bar during her last job. One of them his own friend. "You're retired," he tells her. Cataleya refuses to stop. And just when things could not get worse, Marco, the man behind the gunshots that opened this very story, is hunting her right back. Block by block until one evening, a single photograph reaches exactly the wrong person. Danny, without ever meaning to hurt her, shows her photo to a friend, hoping to quietly find out who this mysterious woman really is. The photo reaches a police contact. The police contact reaches Ross. Ross, staring at his screen, finally sees the face that matches the security footage from that prison murder years ago. That evening, Danny mentions the photo to Cataleya, almost casually, never imagining what he has just set in motion. Her face changes instantly. Outside, a SWAT team already surrounds the building. She escapes through an exit route built for exactly this day. But there is no escape from what waits for her next. She runs to Emilio's home. The house is silent in a way that only means one thing: desperate, needing the one person who has always been there for her. And that is when she makes the discovery that changes everything. He is tied to a chair, tortured, dead. This is the man behind everything she has become. Today, none of it is enough to save him. The only father she has known since childhood is gone. There is no microchip to swallow this time. No embassy to run to. No one left to save her. For the first time since that night in Bogota, covered in her parents' blood, Cataleya is completely, devastatingly alone. And in that silence, something in her breaks. Cataleya goes straight to Ross. She threatens his family if he will not help her reach Don Luis, and she means every word. Ross has no choice. He pressures CIA agent Richard. Richard refuses, insisting the CIA does not expose its own assets. Cataleya does not ask twice. She puts a bullet inches from him just to make her point clear. She finally has what she has waited 15 years for: the address of the man responsible for her parents' deaths. She stops first at the garage of Pepe, Emilio's oldest friend, silenced by Marco long before tonight, and gathers weapons along with 2 of his trained dogs. But what Marco does not know is that the girl he has been hunting for weeks is the one about to find him first. Cataleya storms Don Luis's compound alone. Guard after guard falls before they even see her coming. She moves through his men like nothing on earth could stop her. And then Marco is standing in front of her, the man behind the gunshots that open this very story. It is personal. And when it is over, Marco is dead, and Cataleya barely stops walking. Don Luis tries to run, loaded into a van, believing for just a moment that he might actually survive this night. But what Don Luis does not know is that Cataleya has already put something waiting for him inside that van. His phone rings. It's her, calling from Marco's phone. She gives the dogs one single word: eat. 15 years after a 9-year-old girl swallows a microchip to survive one evening in Bogota, the man behind her parents' murder is gone. The girl who becomes a weapon finally puts it down. Danny is brought in by the FBI for questioning, and though he knows almost nothing, he still gets one final phone call from her. Cataleya has 40 seconds before the trace catches her. Just enough time for 3 questions. He asks for her real name. She tells him. He asks if his little bird will ever come home. She says maybe one day. "I love you," Danny tells her. For 1 second, the assassin disappears. Only the girl remains, tears in her eyes, over a man who only ever knows half of who she is. Then the line goes dead. Ross stares at the phone and lets Danny walk free. Somewhere in the city, a woman in sunglasses steps onto a bus. She is heading toward a destination absolutely no one, not Ross, not Danny, not even the people who trained her, can ever trace.